Ta-da!
Oh, it does look The shade looks pretty too.
I know, it's nice. We're outside today. It's nice.
Very
I don't
nice.
have to have the mask on. You can see my beautiful beard for what it is. Yeah. Well, no, this is very tame compared to what I had during COVID. It was, yeah, much more interesting. Just slowly calibrate all the camera angles. See, long neck, right? Gotta try that. I also have boots with a heel on, so I seem taller than I actually am.
I do not. Oh, you can shut it. I have my phone.
Just gonna stand here and try and look interesting. Hopefully the sound levels are good.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry.
If you couldn't tell already, I'm not much of a shouter, so hopefully the camera's picking it up quite well. If there's anyone in there and you want to comment that you can hear me, that'd be dandy, but I won't make you do that. You just won't hear me otherwise. Alright, well, this feels like enough vamping, close enough to 4, if not 4 already. So welcome! You could, there's my imagery for today. Yeah, we're just gonna hold that in the background and I'm gonna talk at you for a bit. If this is your first time watching, I am Cameron Rose. I am the resident chaplain here at YMCA. We're on the La Cañada upper parking lot. I am still at Fuller, still studying and learning fun things, and I get to do this once a month. So we'll just keep doing it on the third Thursday at 4 o'clock every month until something breaks. So today we're gonna be reading out of John 15. So if you're watching and want to follow along, or if you're watching this at a later time, you can pause, and I'm just going to talk for a little bit to give you time to find John 15. It is in the New Testament, in case you're wondering. So I will read it out for us in case you don't have your Bibles handy, and then we'll just kind of jump right in.
Yay.
So, John 15, starting at verse 12. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because a servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you. And I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving you these commands so that you may love one another. 3 parts to this, as any sermon has. Love one another as a command. We are not servants, and there's good fruit. So you can hold on to those as we continue on. Some backstory for this section of verses. This comes right after Jesus is saying that he is the true vine, the one that comes from God and the vine that gives all good gifts unto the world. This is Jesus talking to the disciples. It is not a nebulous command, but it is one pointed and directed to people who were actively listening and wondering what they should be doing in this world. To abide in Jesus is how we get access to the true vine. It is access to all the goodness that God is wanting to bring out into the world. How do we abide? I can hear you asking, or at least the question I ask myself. The answer is easy. It is in verse 12, that very first part, and it's to love one another as God has loved us. The command was not to say the right things or to commit the right acts, but it was to love one another. Yes, it's February. Valentine's Day was on Monday. I went for the easy passage of love. How wonderful. My first question to you today that you can answer in the chat or just ponder is, who do you love? And I guess it's two questions. Who loves you? Ponder. I hope it's not too difficult of a question. It should be something that comes fairly easy to you. My first thought, obviously, I'm married. My wife. I love my wife. 99% sure my wife loves me, at least most of the time. But there's many different answers to those two questions. I'm sure there's multiple people that you can think of that you love and that love you, at least we hope.
A suspicious person in the chat said you and you.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Who do I love? Me. Who loves me? Me. You're correct.
I think it was your wife.
Probably. That would make sense if that was my wife. I could also see it being any number of my family members. You are correct. Yeah, I'm just going to own that because there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to enjoy yourself. You have to spend the most time with yourself, so enjoy who you are. That's not my notes, so you can take that as a tidbit. Yeah, that's a little extra for you.
So you only get that in the live.
What's that?
You only get that in the live stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See,
Cut out
if
of the
you're
final
watching
version.
this
I don't know.
outside of the live stream, that's what you're missing out on. It's what you can join in on next month's talk. Okay, to get back to it. So obviously, there's more than just one person that we can love or that loves us. We're not called just to love one single person, but to love all people. This was a command. Despite the obstacles that stand in our way, we are called to love. This is something that we hope to find in things like marriage, friendship, families of origin, or the families that we find. Yeah, it's from our parents to children, and I dearly hope you love all your children and not just one of them. That would be a bit unfortunate. My next question is, what is love? Now that we know that there are people that love us and that we love others, what is it? While you think, I'm just going to keep talking. I think that part of what love is to be known. There is knowledge that comes with spending time with another person. Their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations become known to you the more that you spend time with someone. It also takes a lot of open communication and honesty to give knowledge that can be intimate or hard to give to others. The people that you love the most will hopefully know the most about you. This is something that Jesus references in the verse, that all knowledge that God gives to Jesus, Jesus then gave to the disciples and therefore gives to us. It's a very intimate thing to know everything there is to know about another person, and Jesus opened himself up for us in that way. As humans, we definitely seek love. According to some of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century, the Beatles, all you need is love. So much of the stories that we read, the stories that we see in television or in movies, the songs that we hear and sing along are about love between two people or to the world. We want love. We want not just love, we want unending love. We want true love. Love that conquers all evil, brings out goodness into this world, and lets us be known. This is our hope that we get from interacting with other people. To be surrounded by people that love us and people that we get to love in return. Again, Monday was Valentine's Day. Easy hit for me this month. We are reminded on this day that there are people that we love and there are people that love us. My favorite part of Valentine's Day is just thinking about all the elementary schools where every kid gets candy and gives it to their classmates. It's such a grand gesture that love is not only romantic but platonic and between family members, that we all get to display love in ways outside of what just our songs sing or outside of a marriage. The purpose of this love, as God puts it, is not to have servants, not to have slaves, but to have equal partners. We get to join together in unity through love. As humans, we were first made aware of this love by the love that God has for us. On a very human level, it's the love that we receive from our parents. It's very much the same love that God then gives out to each and every one of us. John writes how it was God who chose us and not us who chose God. God did not need humanity, but God wanted humanity. We need God, and we get to respond to God in the ways that we act throughout the world. The love we have for God is, and for others, is the response that we have from receiving the love that we have first been given. This, I think, is the love unending that we have been searching for. To be called co-creators with God, not servants or slaves, but to be called friend and to be on equal footing in creation with God. Considering this, we can see the ways that we are able to reflect the love that has been given to us. Just as Jesus called us friend and laid down his life for us, we are called to lay down our lives for others. This is not made flippantly or without thought, because it is difficult work to lay down your life for someone else. Laying it down means that you are giving all that you possibly can to help another person be the very best version of themselves. However, this means that people are doing that for us as well. It is not one-sided, but we get to all lift one another up through the most difficult of times and celebrate together in the fest that life has to offer. So, this is usually when I do an illustration. Love is hard to give an illustration. So I'm very fortunate that we have the cross right behind us. That's probably the biggest thing that I could have hoped to give as an illustration. Someone literally dying in the hopes that we would gain salvation and feel the love of God.
Someone in the chat asked, what is love to you, Cameron?
Ooh. Partially answered by thinking that it's to be known. Love is giving knowledge freely. I think to feel love at most is to feel comfortable in the knowledge that someone knows me and knows the most intimate parts of me. As an extreme introvert, the times I feel most unloved are in a room where no one knows me. The times that I feel most loved is when I'm comfortable with family or friends who know my history, know me and my intricacies, and someone who gets my humor, because not everyone catches it. Are there any other questions in there?
Someone answered your question of what love is.
Perfect.
They said love is all around,
Yeah.
lives in everything that's alive.
Love that.
Someone else said a choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of love being a choice. Again, with laying down your life, it's not easy. It's not something that really comes natural. I think love that lasts is a continuation of a feeling. I definitely can love my family without liking them. And I can definitely feel that way about my cat sometimes, which I love more than most things that I would care to admit. Especially when he's scratching up my couch, but it's fine. He's great. He's ginger. He has a bow tie. It's wonderful. I have too many photos. I'm rambling. Yeah, like a pet, there's also things like food that we can love. You can have a favorite sibling, although I really wouldn't say that out loud. You could have a preferred human. You can love to do things. Some of my favorite food is dessert. That's why I struggle to work out as much as I do. I also love disc golf and video games. Obviously, long moonlit walks along a beach, hand in hand with my wife. And as I said, my cat. Again, he's adorable. He has a bow tie. He's better than everyone. To get back, because I'm rambling a lot, but it's okay. Love can be a choice and it can be a sacrifice. We see a lot of the sacrifices in love from a parent. I think we can see it in the way that we interact with each other, with friends. There's been many times where I've needed a friend and needed someone to help get through more difficult things, and I've had friends set aside their own schedule, set aside their own money to come and help me. I'm sure each and every one of you can think of a time where that's also happened to you, or where you've been able to give that to someone else. I hope at this point it's abundantly clear. If you didn't know already, there's many types of love. And the command that God gives is to love. There are many types of this love that we get to feel, and the greatest of these that Jesus mentions is laying down your life. The command that is given is to love. There's no slave or servant in the kingdom of God, because no one person has a higher station than anyone else. We serve and we lay down our lives out of joy, not out of obligation. Once again, the command is not to follow all the rules perfectly, not to say the right things. It is to love. It is not a checklist that gets us gifts from Santa, or simply a Valentine in February. Instead, it is to enjoy one of the greatest things on earth, to love others and to be loved by others. And that's it. That's distilled God's greatest commandment, to love one another. No matter the differences we face or the struggles in communication, we are called to love. So to end, I will get back to any other questions. But going on from this day, think about how you can love others, how you can give sacrifice for the people around you, and how you can be thankful for the love that you have been given.
Someone said, love is being willing to put someone else's happiness before your own.
Yes, definitely. And again, I would love, pun unintended, that it's reciprocated, that you're not the only one giving that sacrifice, but true love, I think, is when two or more people are able to sacrifice for each other.
And Vince says, thanks, Cameron. Great message.
You're welcome, Vince. All right, well, there's the illustration again. I hope you enjoy it. If there's nothing else, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you're watching it at a later time, you might consider joining us live, and you can ask me questions. If you're watching it later, don't feel bad. You can still answer the questions and put responses into the chat, and maybe I'll get to them next month. So, yeah.
Someone said, love your message.
Ooh, love my mom. Thanks. Thank you, random citizen. All right, well, that's it.